How far would someone go for $2.6 million? Would they betray the person who loved them the most? He thought he could get away with murder, planning every detail, leaving nothing to chance. But what if the real shock wasn't the crime itself, but what he discovered afterward? What happens when greed collides with a devastating twist no one saw coming? Stay with me as we unravel the disturbing story of a grandson, a grandmother, and a betrayal that led to murder, and a twist that changed everything. Asterisk. It was June 10, 2022, in the quiet suburbs of Cedar Hill, Texas, a close-knit community where neighbors looked out for one another and crime was almost unheard of. But that sense of safety was shattered when 74-year-old Evelyn Carter was found brutally murdered in her home. Evelyn, a retired schoolteacher, was well loved in the neighborhood. Known for her warm smile and generosity, she had spent decades teaching and mentoring children at the local elementary school. But her greatest pride was her grandson, Marcus Carter. After losing both of his parents in a car accident when he was just 10 years old, Evelyn had stepped in to raise him as her own. Marcus, now 26, had struggled to find his footing as an adult. Despite Evelyn's support, he bounced between jobs, dropped out of college, and had developed a reputation for bad decisions, especially when it came to money. Rumors swirled about his gambling debts, unpaid loans, and a growing desperation for cash. But no one could have imagined what investigators would uncover. At first, police believed Evelyn's murder was the result of a robbery gone wrong. Her house had been ransacked, drawers emptied, and valuables missing. But as detectives began to piece the story together, the clues pointed to something far more calculated, and far more personal. Asterisk. Evelyn Carter's body was discovered by her longtime neighbor, Denise Walker, who grew concerned when Evelyn didn't show up for Sunday morning service, a ritual she had never missed in over 30 years. Denise knocked on Evelyn's door, but it was slightly ajar. Her stomach dropped. Something felt wrong. She stepped inside and was immediately struck by the sight of chaos. Drawers were pulled out and dumped. Jewelry boxes were emptied. The living room looked ransacked, but oddly, too neat. It was the kind of mess that felt deliberate, carefully staged rather than truly chaotic. But it was what Denise found next that would haunt her forever. In the bedroom, Evelyn's lifeless body lay sprawled on the floor. A pool of blood had soaked into the carpet, and a shattered lamp lay nearby, its sharp edges glistening. Investigators arrived within minutes, and as they examined the scene, red flags began to emerge. The front door wasn't forced open _ it was left unlocked, suggesting Evelyn knew her killer. There were no signs of a struggle beyond the bedroom. No fingerprints _ except for one set belonging to her grandson Marcus Carter. Marcos was brought in for questioning almost immediately. He appeared shaking but cooperative, insisting he had visited Evelyn the night before to borrow money _ something he admitted to doing often. He claimed he left around 1:30 p.m. leaving Evelyn alive and well. But his alibi began to crumble. Security cameras at a gas station 2 blocks from Evelyn's home caught Marcus's car driving past just after midnight _ hours after he claimed to have left. Detectives dug deeper, learning that Marcus had been calling Evelyn repeatedly in the last days leading up to her death. Text messages revealed tense conversation about money _ Marcus asking for loan and Evelyn pushing back. But it wasn't until investigators uncovered Evelyn's recently updated life insurance policy that suspicions turned to certainty. Just 3 weeks before her murder, Evelyn changed the beneficiary of her $2.6 million life insurance payout. The new recipient wasn't Marcus, it was her church. The revelation sent shockwaves through the investigation. Could it have been the motive for murder? And if so, had Marcus killed his grandmother, believing he'd inherit a fortune _ only to find out too late that he'd been written out? Evelyn Carter's decision to update her life insurance policy just 3 weeks before her murder sent shockwaves through the investigation. Detectives uncovered records showing that Marcus Carter had repeatedly pressured Evelyn to make him the sole beneficiary of her $2.6 million policy. He claimed he needed the money to pay off debts, turn his life around, and secure a better future. But Evelyn had refused. Instead, she named her church as the beneficiary, a decision Marcus was reportedly furious about. Witnesses, including close friends and church members, recalled Evelyn expressing concerns about Marcus's behavior. She told one friend she felt torn between helping him and enabling his destructive habits. She even confided that Marcus had been acting strange in the weeks leading up to her death, showing up unannounced and asking pointed questions about her finances. Armed with this information, detectives brought Marcus in for further questioning. That's when the cracks began to show. His calm demeanor faltered as investigators presented surveillance footage from a nearby gas station. The timestamp, 12:47 a.m., showed Marcus purchasing cleaning supplies, gloves, and trash bags just hours after Evelyn's estimated time of death. When asked about the purchase, Marcus stammered, claiming he was cleaning out. With the evidence mounting against him, Marcus Carter was arrested just 3 days after Evelyn's murder. The investigation had pieced together the chilling truth, and it didn't take long for the authorities to close in on their prime suspect. The trial that followed was a spectacle, drawing in national attention. The prosecution painted Marcus as a man consumed by greed, willing to betray and kill the very woman who raised him, all for the chance at a fortune he'd never receive. The defense, however, tried to cast doubt on the case, suggesting that Marcus couldn't have known about the life insurance change until after Evelyn's death. They even hinted that an outsider could have been responsible for the crime, given the staged break-in. But the evidence spoke for itself. The deleted text messages, the security footage, and the blood stains in Marcus's car painted a clear picture of his involvement. And then there was the haunting voicemail, left by Evelyn just hours before her death. Her voice, trembling with emotion, could be heard pleading with Marcus to stop pressuring her for money. After less than 6 hours of deliberation, the jury found Marcus Carter guilty of first-degree murder. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Still, despite the conviction, questions linger. Was Marcus acting alone, or was there someone else who helped him stage the scene? Could there have been a deeper motive or someone pulling the strings behind the scenes? For Evelyn's family, the pain of her loss, and the betrayal by someone she trusted, remains unbearable. The shock of her murder left scars that time will never heal. Her church, however, used the $2.6 million life insurance payout to create a scholarship fund in Evelyn's memory, ensuring that her legacy of generosity would endure. But for the community, Evelyn's tragic death serves as a painful reminder. Now that you know the chilling details, what do you think? Did Marcus really believe he was about to inherit a fortune, or did his desperation lead him to commit an unforgivable act? Was there anyone else involved in the crime, or did Marcus pull off this twisted plan all on his own? What do you think drove him to betray his grandmother in such a brutal way? We want to hear your thoughts. Was this a crime of greed, or something darker? Let us know your theories in the comments below. And if you want to hear more shocking true crime stories, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and share it with your friends. Also, hit the notification bell so you never miss another story. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more gripping cases. **